Coming up, your weekly roundup of news from around the haunt industry. Welcome to the show. I'm Philip. On the HAN show, we bring you the haunt news, information, and education you need to prepare for Halloween. On Tuesdays, we bring you a roundup of news from haunts worldwide. Read more about these stories and so much more in our free weekly newsletter. Subscribe at the link in the show notes. And as always, for the news roundup, I'm passing it off to Daryl.
Halloween trends for 2025. What guests really want and what that means for your attraction. Only 19% of US adults say they want scary vibes this Halloween, while 30% plan to wear multiple costumes, and 70% say organized events are steady or increasing. In last week's episode of the Green Tagged podcast, Philip and Scott unpacked the annual HalloweenCostumes.com survey and why it matters. The demand for cute, funny, and cosplay-style experiences is growing faster than gore. Audiences are starting to plan earlier, and AI is already a factor in how people search for inspiration. They are also discussing how rising competition and budget-conscious consumers may shape event calendars, citing Six Flags Magic Mountain and Knott Scary Farm cutting weeknights, while Hershey Park's Dark Nights leans on bundled value and high-quality houses. The big question: with more families and casual fans in the market, can giggles and cute Halloween now generate more growth than scares? DoorDash releases their Trick, Treat, and Trends Sweet Halloween Orders Report. DoorDash released their Trick, Treat, and Trends Report for 2025, uncovering not just the most popular candies, but which nostalgic treats are crawling back from the dead. Based on the top candy purchases of October 1st through 31st of 2024, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups still hold the top spot for chocolate, followed by M&M's, Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bars, and Snickers, though data from August 1st through September 10th, 2025 show that Hershey's Cookies and Cream may be a top contender for this year's rankings. Nostalgic 90s standouts rose from the grave in 2024, with Baby Bottle Pop orders spiking an eerie 641%, and Dum Dums climbing 101%. The ultimate grandma candies are also making a comeback, with Strawberry Bonbon sales spiking 600% year over year, and Boxed Raisin seeing a 522% growth in sales on Halloween week. We're seeing a real revival of comfort classics this Halloween, said Kristen Milner, consumer trends expert for DoorDash. Candy has become a kind of time capsule, with millennial parents passing down the staples they grew up with, while Gen Z and Gen Alpha are reinterpreting those same trends as retro comfort. What might have once been written off as a cringe by younger generations is now being embraced as feel-good nostalgia. The resurgence of items like grandma candy and baby bottle pop shows how different generations might be finding joy in the same classics, just in their own way. While treats are on the rise, the tricks and trick-or-treat are on the decline. Egg and toilet paper orders dipped in 2024 despite seasonal Halloween prank spikes. In 2023, egg orders rose 38% and toilet paper 27% during Halloween week compared to an average week. But by 2024, those bumps slipped to 28 and 21% respectively. Even Halloween pranks tell a story about the times. Eggs and toilet paper, once a rite of passage for mischief during spooky season, are dipping as prices rise, making it harder to pull from the pantry without parents noticing, Milner added. The data also tells us that the families are putting their dollars towards getting more treats, showing inflation is reshaping both sides of the trick or treat. Knott Scary Farm debuts 2 new mazes for 2025. This past weekend, Knott Scary Farm in Buena Park, California, opened for its 52nd season, running 26 select nights through November 1st. This year's lineup includes 10 mazes, 5 scare zones, 3 shows, and more, with over 1,000 horrifying creatures lurking in the fog. 2 new spine-tingling mazes have made their debut this season. Step into a once beautiful home and Mary, the haunting of Worth Home. But beware of her legion of nightmarish creatures that will do anything to exact her revenge. In the zoo, an abandoned zoo has been transformed into a terrifying laboratory of animal and human experiments who have turned on their creators and are planning something that will change everything. Of the 8 returning mazes, 2 will see their final season this year before fading into the fog forever. The Grimoire and Mesmer, Sideshow of the Mind. Every night, monsters take over the streets and turn theme park midways into 5 murderous scare zones. Ghost Town Streets, the park's original scare zone. The Goring 20s, complete with live, or rather undead, jazz band performances. Carnival, where deviant clowns and circus freaks are dying for your attention. Forsaken Lake, where gothic creatures wander from their crypts, and the Gauntlet, populated by an evil king and queen, maniacal jesters, brutal barbarians, wicked wizards, and lawless peasants. Knott Scary Farm is more than just a collection of haunted attractions and scare zones. This year's entertainment lineup includes the pop culture-filled stunt extravaganza of The Hanging, the magic and mystery of conjurers, and the death-defying feats and carnival acts of the Le Magnifique Carnaval du Grotesque. The Timber Mountain Log Ride is once again hosting a Halloween hootenanny where eagle-eyed guests can try to spot 13 black cats spreading through the festivities. Into the Fog, a Scary Farm tribute art show, is home to a collection of original Scary Farm-inspired art by unique and talented artists from across the country. Fuel your frightful fun with a seasonal food and beverages that capture the essence of fall, including wickedly indulgent treats, delicious dinner options, and creepy cocktails to be enjoyed in the witching hour. Follow the links in the show notes for more Knott Scary Farm, including information about the full event, a video of Mary the Haunted Worth home, and a tour through the zoo, their new maze. Six Flags reports attendance gains and seasonal event cancellations. Six Flags Entertainment Corporation reported a 2% decline for the 9 weeks ending August 31st, 2025, despite welcoming more than 298,000 more guests than the same period in 2024. Attendance grew thanks to promotion and discounts, but per capita admission spending dropped by 7%, offset only slightly by food and merchandise sales. Early 2026 season pass sales are pacing ahead of last year with prices up 3%, and Six Flags reaffirmed its full-year earnings guidance. In simple terms, more guests came through the gates, but they paid less to get in, which pulled overall revenue down. At the same time, the company is trimming seasonal operations across its parks. Knott Scary Farm has removed all Wednesday dates for 2025, while Six Flags Magic Mountain cut its Thursday Fright Fest nights. Most recently, Sesame Place San Diego announced the cancellation of both its Halloween and Christmas events, even though many guests had already purchased passes expecting them. These changes follow other Six Flags properties adjusting their schedules. In this week's episode of the Green Tag Podcast, Philip and Scott discuss how the data and cuts raise questions about the long-term strategy. Driving attendance with discounts and sales pass only works if guests keep coming back, and that depends on delivering strong seasonal events and consistent experiences. Cutting back on Halloween and holiday offerings may solve short-term cost concerns, but it risks eroding guest trust, especially during the very seasons that bring the highest engagement. As mentioned, Sesame Place ends its annual holiday events in an abrupt seasonal operations change. Sesame Place San Diego and San Diego, California will switch to a seasonal operations calendar effective immediately, ending its previously annual Halloween and Christmas special events. On September 15th, the park announced that its final operating day for the 2025 season would be just 6 days later on September 21st. Sesame Place will reopen in spring of 2026 with a seasonal calendar focusing only on the warmer months of the year. This comes in the wake of Six Flags similarly canceling Halloween and holiday events at multiple parks for 2025. In an Instagram post, Sesame Place commented on the schedule change, stating, "By focusing on our most popular times of year, we can deliver the best possible experience from the moment guests arrive until the moment they leave. Season pass holders will receive admission to SeaWorld San Diego for the remainder of 2025 to compensate for the closure. Pacific Park debuts a new funhouse with Epic Entertainment Group. On September 10th, Pacific Park and the Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica, California, opened a newly reimagined funhouse designed and produced by Epic Entertainment Group. The 2,800 square foot attraction revives the historic Toonerville Funhouse with the 9 themed chambers filled with optical illusions, distorted perspectives, and playful yet eerie design. Guests will discover that the funhouse is far more than a maze of mirrors and tricks, though. At the heart of its lore lies a sinister pact. Sprinkles the Clown and a mysterious fortune teller are in cahoots, luring unsuspecting visitors deeper into the maze and toward their chilling fate in the ice cream freezer. Creating the funhouse for Pacific Park allowed us to blend nostalgia with new innovations in storytelling, said Charity Hill, co-founder and executive producer of Epic Entertainment Group. "We love digging into history, finding out what made people fall in love with these experiences in the first place, and then reinventing them for today's audiences. With the Funhouse, we're not just paying homage to Santa Monica's amusement legacy, we're creating a whole new chapter that will surprise and thrill guests for years to come. The Funhouse is a permanent addition to Pacific Park, operating year-round. Tickets are now on sale for $15 per person. The Mall of America announces seasonal thrills and Halloween fun. The Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, has unveiled its fall lineup, transforming the destination into a seasonal hub of fashion, food, culture, and Halloween fun. From September through November, guests will find everything from haunted attractions to cultural celebrations, all under one roof. Halloween offerings range from family-friendly to full-throttle frights. Nickelodeon Universe becomes Booniverse through November 2nd, featuring immersive decor, nightly fright lights shows, and costume characters alongside special events such as live pumpkin carving, glow-in-the-park Halloween nights, and Toddler Tuesday's treat trail. Guests can also join UNICEF's 75th Trick-or-Treat celebration with crafts, games, and the iconic Orange Collection box. Mall-wide trick-or-treating returns on October 31st for those seeking more intense scares. 13th Floor's Twin Cities Fear Fest operates September 26th through November 2nd, while families can enjoy Screamin' Green Hauntoween at Crayola Experience. Spirit Halloween rounds out the season with its extensive store inside the mall. Beyond Halloween, fall deals and experiences include BOGO Unlimited Ride wristbands at Nickelodeon Universe weekdays through October 3rd, bundled attraction packages, and seasonal fashion sales. Guests can also enjoy limited-time dining specials while earning double MOA Insider points through November 2nd. Cultural events bring the community together with highlights such as the Autumn Moon Festival on October 4th, Hmong Arts Festival October 25th, and the Latin Luminos October 31st through November 2nd. For full details on seasonal activities, deals, and events, visit the mall's official website. Legendary Haunt Tour itinerary is announced. Transworld's Legendary Haunt Tour, taking place November 7th and 8th, has announced its haunt lineup for 2025. All attractions will be fully operational with actors. The tour begins on Friday, November 2nd with Castle of Chaos Haunted House in Midvale, Utah, and Nightmares on 13th Haunted Attractions in Salt Lake City, Utah. On Saturday, November 8th, the tour continues with a visit to the Haunted Forest in American Fork, Utah, and then return to Nightmare on 13th for a behind-the-scenes tour. End the night at Fear Factory in Salt Lake City, Utah with a full show walkthrough, lights-on self-guided tour, guided behind-the-scenes tours, and after-party. Tickets for the Legendary Haunt Tour are on sale now, starting at $350 for the bus tour and $300 for the self-driving tour. Prices will increase by $20 after October 6th. Zero Latency VR announces its first fully immersive horror experience, Haunted. Zero Latency VR has announced the launch of Haunted, its first fully immersive horror experience. Set inside a mysterious shifting house that seems to live and breathe, Haunted offers players an intense cinematic horror experience, featuring wireless warehouse-scale gameplay, 5K visuals, and responsive spatial audio. The title places up to 8 players inside a psychologically unsettling narrative where survival is never guaranteed. Group dynamics are tested as players are drawn apart, guided by whispers, laughter, and a presence that always seems one step ahead. This is an experience that lingers, said Tim Roos, CEO of Zero Latency VR. Haunted is a deeply immersive, sensory-rich story designed to stay with players long after they leave the arena. It taps into fear in unexpected ways. Sometimes it's loud and chaotic, sometimes it's quiet and intimate. Either way, brave participants come out of it talking, laughing, and often a little shaken. Haunted will be available at Zero Latency venues worldwide beginning on October 3rd. Bookings are now available on their official website. Michael Myers returns to the big screen this October. Michael Myers is slashing his way back to the big screen this October. John Carpenter's Halloween 1978 returns to theaters nationwide, joined by Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Together, these classics will screen on more than 80 markets and nearly 400 theaters, with additional locations being added daily. Cinelife Entertainment and Tricas International Films are once again partnering to bring the films back for the season, giving fans and families a chance to relive the suspension, dread, and terror of Michael Myers on the big screen. For many, seeing Halloween in theaters has become an annual tradition, and this October, both longtime fans and first-time viewers will have the chance to share the scares with Michael Myers where he belongs, in the dark. Check local listings to find a theater near you. Trick or Treat gets its first nationwide theatrical release on October 14th and 16th. Legendary Pictures, Warner Bros. Pictures, and Saga Arts are bringing Trick or Treat from 2007 to screens nationwide for the first time ever in a partnership with Fathom Entertainment. A modern Halloween classic, Trick or Treat is endured as a fan favorite for its chilling tales and its unforgettable guardian of tradition. Sam, the mischievous spirit who punishes those who break the rules. Written and directed by Michael Dougherty, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Krampus, the film weaves sinister stories set on Halloween night. A high school principal moonlights as a killer, a young virgin's search for the right man turns horrific. Emma and her husband learn the cost of ignoring rituals, and a cantankerous old man faces Sam in a terrifying showdown. Darkly funny, gruesome, and endlessly rewatchable, Trick or Treat secures Sam's place as a true spirit of Halloween. The screenings will include a special featurette of director Michael Dougherty discussing the Halloween memories that inspired the film, and a restoration of the 1996 hand-drawn short film Season's Greetings that first brought the iconic Sam to life. Visit Fathom Entertainment's official website to locate screenings near you. Midnight Syndicate, Gothic Horror and Haunt Music. Haunters Toolbox is hosting a live Q&A session with Edward Douglas and Galvin Gozka of Midnight Syndicate on Tuesday, September 30th at 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Midnight Syndicate is an American musical duo known for creating dark, atmospheric, and gothic-themed instrumental music. Since 1997, composers Douglas and Gozka have produced what they call soundtracks for the imagination, blending orchestral scores with sound effects to evoke a sense of horror, mystery, and fantasy. Their tunes and ambient sounds are used in themed attractions worldwide. Tune into this 90-minute live session to hear about their inspiration and learn how to create your own haunt music, along with sound tips and tricks. Some upcoming events this September through November of 2025 include Son of Monster Palooza, October 10th through 12th in Burbank, California, IAPA, November 17th through 20th in Orlando, Florida, and Creep It Real Festive, November 21st through 23rd in Santa Ana, California.
And that's all for the news this week. Today's episode was produced by me, Philip Hernandez, with reporting by Daryl Plunkey, post-production by David Swope. This Haunt News Update is a production of the Haunted Attraction Network, and you can sign up to our weekly newsletter at hauntedattractionnetwork.com. Support for this episode comes from Gantom Lighting and Controls. Until next time, Haunters, stay scary.
This is a Haunted Attraction Network production.